Okay, it's 2023 and you want to make a software as a service, a SaaS. You have the idea for your app, now you just got to implement it. And you know you want to write in Django. Perfect. You know that your web app will need to store data, but how is it going to do that? Is your web app going to store data in a database? Is that database going to talk with SQL using Python? Huh? Well, the solution is that if you're going to use Django, you're going to have to use something called models. Now, I'm not talking about women in clad green bikinis, I'm talking about Django models. These models help translate Python commands into SQL commands. That way, you don't have to context switch between Python and SQL. With Django models, you get SQL results without needing to write SQL. That's pretty cool. Okay, let me show you what I mean exactly by all these Django models and stuff. If you're familiar with databases, you understand what CRUD is: create, update, create, read, update, delete. Well, I'm going to show you I'm going to show you a demonstration on how that actually works on the front end and back end. So as you can see here, I have this web page, a blog with a list of blogs, Django blog, Python, FreeCodeCamp blog, that kind of stuff. Currently, this web page is actually reading from a database that I have locally on my computer. If we go to the back end, I'll show you right here. We have our blogs table, and we have this kind of stuff right here, like FreeCodeCamp blog. Well, if we want to add another record into the blog table, right, into the blog model, all we have to do is create it with this, add blog. We'll type in a blog called view. The tagline, I think view's tagline is the only what is it? It's like vue.js.org, the progressive JavaScript framework. Let's copy that, put that there for the tagline, and save. Now that we created something, it was saved into the database, and we can read that information here once we reload the page. Perfect. See? Views are right there. That's exactly what we're looking for. So now that we created something and we read something from the database, let's actually update this record in the database. So let's say view, let's call that view blog. So we'll just make an update right here, and then we'll do that. So now it says here view blog. Then when we go to the front end, view will be view blog. Perfect. Now let's try deleting this entry in the database. Let's say maybe, I don't know, the creator of view said something bad and now it got canceled. So let's come over here, click the delete button, and it's gone. View has been deleted, like it never existed. So now that we know that Django can perform CRUD operations, let's get a small idea of what it kind of looks like in the back end. So I'm going to just set this aside and come over here. So in my Django project, I have this class right here called blog. And if you know anything about SQL databases and tables, you'll know that this might look pretty familiar to you. You see, a model is really just a SQL table. So if we have this name right here, that's just a field on a database table. And this models.car field is just a declaration of a data type. So char field is pretty much the equivalent to varchar, varchar2. Text field, again, same thing, varchar, varchar2. And tagline is once again just a field in the database table. Now, you can even come down here and see that there's an email field. Yeah, there are a lot of different kinds of fields. The Django documentation has a lot of information about that. And yeah, you can really lose yourself to all the Django documentation. There's a lot of it. So that's pretty much what it looks like. Now, once you have this model right here, you're going to want to activate it somehow. So the first thing you'd have to do, of course, is you come to your Django app, you create your application, you go to your models file, you write the class, And then you come over here to your project. In my case, it's called Test Django. You come over here to your settings file. Then you scroll all the way down to here, into this installed apps list. And then you just append the list with test app. Then once you do that, you open up your terminal. You type in from the top of your project, right where your manage.py file is. All you do is you type in Python. So you manage, and then migrate, because you created changes and you added something to a database, or now you added the table to your database. And then once that migrate happens, you'll just type in make migrations. And then once you're done once you press enter, and hopefully, it doesn't come up with any errors, you will have a new entry in your database. So, I hope with that, you understand some of the basics, a very clear understanding of the basics of what a model looks like, what it does, and how to activate it. If you stay with me for the next video, I'll show you how to make queries with models and how to render data with templates. I'll even show you as a bonus how to do model relationships. So that way you can call one piece of data and Django automatically calls a bunch of other different pieces of data based on a foreign key relationship, which is kind of central to relational database software. All right, have fun.